There. Work? Yeah, it works. No, you're good for right now. It just it doesn't matter right now, honestly.
Aw.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. But you know what? I was local to you. Thank you for coming.
Way too many stories.
You can walk by. Doesn't matter.
Are you
Live streaming.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting some of them. I'm moving it around, but
You never know.
thank you. Setting myself a stand. Thank you for coming.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Flash color.
So yeah,
Huh?
do it long ways like that. That's fine. Oh, that's gonna be beautiful.
So that should be more stable than.
Yeah. I guess
No,
face it.
turn the camera, not the base. Keep the base
All right.
best place for the feet to stay. Okay, well, you can flip this a little bit and turn that entire top
No, it
piece.
doesn't turn.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it doesn't. That's what I have.
Oh, you got ridged one. Okay.
That's fine. It's fine if I have to move this around.
All right, well,
Hold on.
I'm just trying to keep the feet stable on.
Well, like I said, I'm going to be monitoring it the entire
Okay.
time anyway.
I know, but it's,
So I want to at least have the. Right now, I'm just having it watch the TVs right now until people start talking.
okay.
I'm Katie. Nice to meet you.
Shelly.
Does you work with my mom?
I did. We did. You were at my wedding.
Probably. Probably. I don't remember everything. There's a lot.
I might have videos of you dancing at my wedding, actually.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm one of those people that just dance all the time, you know?
Find the book. Yeah,
Yes.
line for the book. Is this the line? I don't know.
I don't know what the line is. Hello. Oh, thank you for making it.
Yes. Your mom was amazing.
Yes.
So kind to me when all her stuff back there.
Here's one of those people. So, thank you for that.
Yeah.
You got a new baby.
Yeah, that's seriously coming to you. You would never see.
Sorry.
So,
I'm trying to get out of my hermit stage. I was in a hermit mode for a while, but get to my hermit stage. I think. You have a child,
Right.
being a hermit and having. I don't think it's that. Yeah. Yes, and I have some live stream going, so that way people who can't make it can.
Right.
Okay, there we go. Don't you disconnect from on me.
Well, first of all, like that bar was beaten. So there's no nail, and it's built where the gravity and weight of everything kind of makes it stronger. Of course, it's decayed over the years. But there's adding a section of the roof right there. You can see the roof difference. So they added, they expanded it. So because they didn't,
Yeah.
the right, yeah, the right, like that 2/3 of the original. You see it. When they did that, they didn't do it properly. So when that started to sink, it's hard to go back down.
Sit anywhere.
It's all on these. Oh, yeah. Some of these huge granite blocks and, can't watch.
Thank you, Mark.
So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They'll help. Her.
There are companies that.
Yeah, I'm Jen. Yeah. Yeah, I saw you. Yeah. Oh. Right, yes. Can't swim with you.
Oh, okay. Oh, Miss Fry.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
in the water a lot.
Yes. Yep, you guys had a lot of fun.
Well, with my mom, it's hard not to.
Yes, that's true.
My Christmas.
Okay.
Thank you guys. They'll direct you. I think I need bigger table.
How are you?
With all the stuff, but I get kind of a long story. And I was wanting to bring it to you today, but it's get all the hospital stuff out. You know where I'm at. I know. I'm gonna get it to you this week. You got my phone number. You know where I know. I know. I'm gonna get it to you this week. Yeah. Oh, you know it's been. Don't worry. Yeah, take care of yourself. How are you doing? How's little man? Oh, he's doing awesome. I thought about it, but I was like, all of them stuffed in houses right now. Right, you're just we had them running around doing the fields for this morning. So we got lucky.
That way, I'm not filming the entire time. No, you're fine.
Live right now.
Yes. We currently have 12 people online.
Yeah, yeah, ish. We're going on.
Well, I think.
I am not. We're not military. You know, we'll look for him and get.
I'm just watching. I know. Sorry about that. Don't get it. You know what I mean? That's like classic. The first one. I don't listen. I gotta get their deal.
Well, you my work.
You know.
Yeah, but it was great. I didn't think about it.
Oh, I think that's a bit-
Thank you for coming.
I will. Oh, I will. There's time now. Indonesia has three.
I know, right?
We did have a Fred out. Place.
How are you doing? Oh, they're good. They're big. They're insane, but they're young. That's turn around. Yes.
Try to go.
Sorry. I can say that.
Make sure nobody steals the still holder. I'm sorry, you're second for the gas. I hope. I just cracked jokes. Good one. You remember that? That was the guy. I'll never forget. No, I like that. I'm very laid back and that was jumping forward. He gets the most. Sorry, like, well, that's like, I was like, that was epic. I mean, you don't have. I said I had a friend who went down to eat fishes. Was actually Laurie's best friend's son. So great. But it was a fishing trip on the boat. You know, but it was fun. I would say that's so.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How are you?
No,
Sure.
I'm just not talking about it. So,
She was the best adjusted.
how are you?
child.
You know our favorite memory of you.
Yeah. Oh, yes, yes, I do. Yes, I had the goal to go over at 11 o'clock. No.
It wasn't not. It was 9 o'clock.
I can't. I'm sorry.
So funny. That was so funny.
What?
Was the live seat?
Yes, it's a live feed. It's That's okay. I have enough cousins. There's about 4. The rest of them. Okay, well, go.
You have a friend that's like,
Just
Oh,
Liz. I don't think I ever met Liz.
yeah. She's currently working on the. She's in charge of the electronics.
Okay.
I know.
I've just been given the official 3-minute warning.
So we'll get going in about 30 minutes.
He was resource director for like 30 years. He could be me. He was.
Did you need that?
It was at the end of the season, but it was. I didn't want to risk not getting.
Huh? I know. I was just sharing it again, letting know it's 3 minutes of post. Sometimes it has to reconnect the end, so I have to monitor it. You could bring the cord down so if I need to grab it, I don't have to ask. Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, avoid the tree line, girl.
Oh, touch screen went up. Ain't that in the middle of doing something, accidentally touch screen on something else. It's worse with the screen, you got round edges, you can't even hold it. That's what it is. A piece on the over doors that will show notifications on. Or number two.
I didn't say substitute.
Okay.
So.
Can you, yeah.
I'll take over this, but I'm gonna have you choose that.
Okay. Monitoring the of the phone.
I need somebody else.
Just
I have no idea what to do. It'll help with anything else though.
okay. That's fine. That's fine. Where's Joe? We're sitting with that.
Standing there, or sitting there. Am I supposed to speak or something?
No, if you want to.
Do you gonna watch this?
No, I have to be.
Oh, you don't. Jim, you watch this thing. I don't know anything about this. I don't know. We gotta watch. I don't know. Oh,
You know, Dynasty, dude.
remember the time lag.
If you don't mind, could you just make sure it stays on fine? Or if it
So somebody knows how to do this? 'Cause I
try
don't,
it for me.
I don't know anything about
Just to
screen.
monitor it.
Sue's getting it.
Okay.
So that's good. We're getting it.
Yeah. So
Is it pointed where we
Yeah.
want it?
yeah, as long as it's pointed at
Good
the page.
afternoon, everyone.
Pointed. Okay, yeah. There's.
Yeah.
I'd like to get started
I
here.
don't know if it's pointed there.
My name's Rob Revac. I am the brother-in-law to Mark. And Lori LeBlanc was my sister-in-law, I think if you follow that, kind of get the picture. Interestingly enough, my wife's maiden name is Lori LeBlanc. So I had Lori here and I had Lori here. Known Mark for over 48 years. Okay, that's a good thing. Before we get started, if you could perhaps silence your cell phones, if you don't mind. And also, for those of you who may need a restroom, it would be in the house over diagonal to us. Inside the kitchen, there's a restroom there. Okay. So I've known the family for quite some time. I've actually known Laura, Mark's wife, for over 30 years. And a little bit of background on Lori. Mark and Lori worked together down in Florida and got to know each other down there and got together and eventually moved up to Georgia, which is where my wife Lori and I first met Mark. Now, Mark had been dating Lori for a couple of years, and they've been married for 32. But after a couple of years, Lori got a little impatient. And if you know Mark, you know how shy and intimidated he can be. So Lori is the Mary. And she didn't really give Mark a choice. I think she had a pin against the wall, I don't know, a sucker punched him or something. Mark said yes, and the rest is history. And here we are. So our first speaker today is going to be Mark, and so I'm going to ask him to come on up, Mark. Thank you.
I would first like to thank all of you for being here. Would appreciate it. I probably cannot talk for long, but I can't. I will stop. She was one of the kindest people I have ever known, flat out. Everyone I've talked with, the letters, or just talk about her kindness and her politeness in all kinds of situations. She could take anything and take a pig's ear and turn it into a freaking purse. She could just work with anything and make it better. It didn't matter. And she would keep working until it worked. She never gave up. She had a lot of projects and a lot of things happened because of her tenacity. And for that, I think all of us are blessed. And in my life, I can't even go there. I would be all over the ground. So she was the best person I've ever known. And this was going to be the hardest day to come here and see all of you who also have deep feelings for her because that's what she invoked in people. You had to, when you worked with Lori, you loved Lori because you couldn't help it because she made you do that because she was never kind, never bitter, never impolite. She was always there for you, and she worked hard for everyone. And she worked very hard for the hospital, and I think they kind of appreciate it. But just her life had such meaning because she left it better everywhere she went. People always talk about her like, well, better than me, but maybe a different type of personality. But I mean, I lived with her for almost 35 years and I only got her really mad 3 times, and that was hard to do. I mean, it should have been a lot easier than that, but sometimes I push. But she just didn't fly off the handle. She just always was looking on the right side of everything. And that was the story of her life. Her life was about.
Thank you, Mark. Tech person coming to help me.
On the phone.
Okay, that's great. So our next speaker, Lori had 3 children and still does have those 3 children. As one, at least one will remind Mark every day. So she had 2 daughters and 1 son, Robert, who can't be with us today. So we regret that. But the oldest daughter is Alicia. Alicia lives in the home right behind us here. And we're on her property, so don't draw anything. She really mad at you. Alicia is the oldest daughter, Alicia Rojas, and we're going to ask her to come up and speak now. So Alicia.
I did not get the apology. So as my Uncle Rob said, I'm Alicia. I'm Lori's oldest daughter. Many of you I either have met or know for quite some time because of the and loss of made things a lot easier for us. So we thank you so much for taking the time to reach out and be able to be part of this for us today and bringing your husband to the fold. Gendry over at Northern Light, you were definitely helpful in Lord goodness. Through our experience for the week at the hospital, you've made a lot of things a lot easier for us, and I really appreciate it. Tammy and Rusty, Tim and Lisa, you guys have been such good family friends to us for the years, and in our time of need, you guys have really just been there to truly support us. So we really appreciate all of you. So, excuse me. LeBlanc family, thank you guys for taking a trip across the United States to come and support us. You know, we may not always be so communicative, but you guys are all here in our time of need, and we really appreciate it and all of your support through this. This is a surreal time.
So we appreciate you. My mom was a legend. All of you know that she was just an absolute legend. You guys got to know her as a strong, seasoned, experienced, fearless woman. And she always was to you. When I got to meet her, she was young. I got the privilege of meeting her as a young, vivacious, unexperienced lady, taking on the world in all her glory. Our lives started together very rough. Anybody that's known us for a long time would know a little bit about that. But that gave her the opportunity to teach my brother and I some valuable lessons about strength, endurance, perseverance, steadfastness, dedication, and loyalty. And all those things that she taught us at such a young age has benefited us throughout the years. And obviously, you've seen how she lived her life moving forward. These lessons undoubtedly have the man that my brother is and the woman that my sister is as well. I would be so proud to say that I'm half the woman as my mother was. Thank you guys very much for coming. I really, truly appreciate it.
Thanks, Alicia. So we have another daughter, and this is the bookend to Alicia. And so we ask Catherine LeBlanc to come on up and give us a few words.
I would be that.
I'm okay.
Hi everyone, for who don't know me, I'm Kate Catherine LeBlanc. I have nothing written down. I'm not as organized as my sister is, but I don't have much to say. It's just like my dad pointed out. It's like the testament of seeing how loved my mother was such a testament to who she was, and I hope, like my sister, they're half the woman that she became, and I hope to live with her memory even if she's gone, because she was so loved, and I'm so grateful that you all came. I can't say much more, but yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Katie. So years ago, Lori got her start in the nursing school, and that friend has become a lifelong friend. So I'm going to ask Lane Bird to come on up and give us a few words.
Is the anchor pulled from the seabed, the steering wheel unhinged, the mast split by lightning, and the bow broken by storm? Ship that you sailed until now feels unsafe, no longer weatherproof and without direction or brave heart. You will anchor yourself once more, my friend, when you realize that her voice still speaks, still guides, still brings brave heart your way.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you. At this point, what we'd like to do are here because you've known Lori for maybe a short time or a very long time. You've worked with her, you're friends with her, you're relative of her. But we'd like to open it up to anyone who would like to share a memory or a moment. And what we ask is that you identify yourself, how you know Lori, and maybe how long you've known Lori. So with that in mind, would anybody like to speak? We have a gentleman over here.
Hi, my name is Tim Falvey. I live across the street with my wife Lisa and Shannon at that time. It's gonna be hard for me to talk to her. She's more family than a friend. I met her the first day she got here by herself, and she fit in so quickly. It's one of those type of people that you seem like you've known her 20 minutes after you've met her, and you seem like you've known her for your life, and I still feel that way. And she fit in here so well to this tiny little neighborhood. But when she did move in, I now had to ask permission to hunt this back field. That was okay with her. So she was pretty interested in anything that happened in Maine. So if she didn't know it, she was going to learn. And she was always talking about different subjects with me. And I figured, boy, is she making this stuff up? When Google came on, I looked it up, and damn it, she knew it all. I've had a brother that's a know-it-all, but she definitely does know it all. No, I was very impressed with that until the end. I said, Lori, that may not be that pretty. I've done a lot of hunting. Sometimes it goes really well. Other times it doesn't go that well. And you may see something you don't want to see. She said, yes, I do. I'm interested in it. I want to see it from the beginning to the end. So I want to sit and stand, do the whole thing. So we did it for 3 days, nothing happened. About the third day, I said, you still interested in this? Yeah, I want to see it through to the end. That's her. This little story is going to tell you all about her and what she's about. Oh, on the fourth day, right at the bottom of this field, I said, I can hear them coming. I can hear these deer coming. I said, now, if I shoot one of these deer, you need to sit and be quiet because anything can happen. Let the deer just lay down for a short amount of time until we're sure everything's fine. You're going to do that? Yes, I am. Oh, no, she isn't. First deer came out too small. Second deer came out too small. What do you mean too small? Too small. You can tell it looks big, but it's so the third one came out and I shot the deer. The deer went down like it's supposed to, boom, to the ground, which I was happy about. It doesn't always happen that way, and it was her first time. So she's getting very impatient. If you look close, you can see the deer start to move, which is typical. She got up out of the little stand and just started running up the hill. I've got, what are you doing? I'm trying, she doesn't listen to me at all. And the deer was moving a little bit more. She gets close to it, and she, just like a professional wrestler from the top rope, she jumped on the deer. Someone alive. You don't do that, folks, at all. Back feet are pretty scary. So I was trying to admonish her at the same time, trying to take care of this deer, and the deer finally gave its last breath. And I looked at her. Her face was not the same. She'd experienced something that she'd done and seen for the first time. And then I wasn't really trying to control the deer. She didn't want to see it suffer anymore. That was her. A total disregard for her own safety. She gave it no concern. A total disregard for me and my instruction. But she did it, and I've laughed about it a lot. And Dave, I can cry about it because that was Lori. That story is her from beginning to end, and we love. God bless you. We'll never forget her ever. We love you.
When Tim said she jumped out of the deer stand and ran over to the deer, I half expected him to say she started stitching it up. That's Lori. Anyone else? We have a gentleman over here. Right, Tim. My name is Robert Clough. Mark asked me to say a few words, and because it's Lori, I feel honored to do so, of course. And I've known several Loris, and I want to tell you about a few, because she was more than one person and had a unique ability to reinvent herself. The first one I met was in my operating room, and I met her as someone who was competent, caring, who set a standard that others wanted to follow. So I started to respect her, maybe even like her a little bit. I didn't like everybody in the operating room. The next one I met was a little different because suddenly, and she won't mind me saying this, I'm sure. Right, Mark? She became my patient. And that could be difficult if you know a little too much about the kind of work we did. And yet she had absolute faith in her colleagues and in me, which is kind of a responsibility. Of course, she did well. She had a complicated cardiac procedure, but she came through it, except for one thing. She did let me down because she had to go back to the OR for bleeding, which was kind of a mark against me. But in that unique way Lori has to make people put out their best, she said, I'm not worried because I know none of you will let anything bad happen to me. She had that way of saying, okay, we're going to care about this one. And of course, everyone felt that way. And of course, she did fine for years, right? Yeah. The third Lori I knew then again reinvented herself as a I don't know what the title was. So you may have to help me, Patty, but her job as care manager. Thank you. She was a navigator and a guide for patients going through scary operations, and she did that well. She actually defined a position, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, she couldn't make it painless for patients, but she certainly made it a lot less frightening. Again, another one of her sides. And I'm starting to like her a lot more. I've seen her as a patient. If you have a patient, you learn things about people that many people don't get to know. So I started to respect her and like her even more. Well, the next one after this job was she took over my office as I was fading away. And she made it better. And as I was kind of coming and going, I guess, in my practice, all she ever said to me was, she almost said this every day, what can I do for you? What can I do? I suspect many people have heard the same thing. What can I do for you? And she always found something to do for me. And the final Lori I knew, most important one, she became a friend. So I went from an employer, maybe a boss in some way, a physician, her surgeon, and ended up being a friend. And this is the thing I value most. We shared some of her dreams, her hope, the pictures of her hope, and what she hoped to do, what she planned to do. This past winter, she came to visit Joanne and me and our place down in the Florida Keys, and was all set to come spend a few days with the dogs. And storm came up and she didn't quite make it. So we were going to have lunch together a couple of weeks before she left us, and that never happened. But I did. I knew you would approve. And I want to say that I will keep you dear in my heart and remember you. And most of all, I respect you and I am grateful to you. Thank you for that. Would anyone else like to speak? Oh, we have a lady back here I saw first, so not playing favorites. We'll do it that way.
Mary Ann Chaika. My husband and family and I lived in Meadowview Farms for 53 years. And so Lori was our new neighbor, Lori and Mark. And they were wonderful neighbors. We had wonderful times together. We would have meals at their house. They would have meals at our house. Lori was as kind as everyone mentioned. What I have to say I remember most about Lori is my husband in his later years developed dementia. And Lori was as kind and sweet as she could be to him. She took him out on her boat. They went fishing. She'd bring him over and let the dogs get on his lap because the thing he loved most was dogs, for sure. So I have wonderful memories of Lori and her family. And I just wish you peace.
This gentleman over here, I will come on down. I'm John Klemper. I also had the privilege to work with Lori for many years, not as many as Robert Clough, but many years. And it'd be an honor to say a few words about it. I didn't write anything down. It was, I mean, really, it was just about a year ago that I got up and said some words at Lord's retirement. And I had to put motion, but that's when I really realized that it was more than just I mean, I knew we were friends, but how deeply I cared for Lori, how much we all did. So, the day Lori passed, we were, everybody was in total disbelief. We were all saying to each other, everybody saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I'll say, yeah, no, I'm okay. But we really weren't. We lost a real light in the world that day. So she meant a lot to everybody here. She was an amazing person to work with. Like Robert said, it was always, what can I do for you? And everything she did well. So imagine what kind of a wife and mother she was. She's really missed by everybody. It's, I will say though, and I don't know if I've ever felt this as strongly, but when I walk into the hospital or the office, I feel that. So thank you for having me. Please be with you. Should be wonderful. Thank you. Do we have any others? I see a lady over here.
That Raven was one of the docs at Bucksport. We used to work with Lori and one of her friends off stage as well. This was her. I don't have a height either. So, oh wait, I need a good nurse here. Thank you. So I live in New Jersey now. I left Oxford about 6 years ago, and have been. Lori and I were good friends for a long time. I think maybe the first time I met Lori when she wasn't working was at Pajama Day in very nice pajama. When I was with her professionally initially, we were doing a real significant wound care in patients' homes, and then she came to sport and worked together. I have a story from one of the nurses that I'm staying with right now, which I thought was a great Lori story. Wraps things up for a lot of people. Lori's first day on the job, she apparently drove a red truck, and I'm sure my friend Karen will correct me if I get this word wrong. But she's driving a red pickup truck. Sharon came into work and Lori was emptying out the back of his truck with the stand. And Sharon goes over and she says, "Can I help you?" And out of the truck comes a bale of hay and a goat. So she always introduced her family. Eggs and everything into the office that she worked. And everybody who never worked for years. Yes. What can I do for you? Is definitely the phrase that really I'm so happy that she got a chance to retire and Lori got the chance to fulfill their dream of having a boat. The last time I saw Lori and Mark was down in Florida. They were on their quest to find the boat, and they thought they had one wrapped up. And we were down there for a very brief period of time in Florida. We got together, and it was just wonderful. And then her son, we had a couple of rounds of drinks. I can't believe that, but and a good breakfast first. But it was so magical to have someone, fulfill that dream. So, in thinking about this, I kind of process everything in my head musically. Not that I have any musical talent at all, but musicians are very important. So, the first thing I put on my headset and screamed to was Billy Joel, Only Through Diane. And the second thing was Jimmy Buffett. And Mark, I met Mark. Mark was the first Uber driver in Maine. He didn't have very many. But thinking about Mark, Jimmy Buffett, son of a sailor, son of its magic. It's tragic.
I agree now.
Didn't know Mark was an Uber driver. Put that in my notes. I need something in Chicago. Okay, so like fair. On this side, is there anybody that would like to speak? Okay, we have Charlotte. This is the niece of Lori. Like I said, this is the granddaughter.
Hello. I had no intention of talking to anybody today, but to wallow in my own feelings. But we're sharing fun stories today, so as you know, I'm the granddaughter of Lori, and you all know her as Lori, but to me, she is Nina. So, which in Spanish, I have recently learned, does not mean grandmother. That means little girl. So my grandmother, she was an amazing woman to a lot of people. She was family, but she was also an amazing co-worker. I have no experience knowing her as a co-worker. But I know her as a fisherwoman. And I grew up every summer, almost every single weekend, going on the boat. And I used to hate it because what am I going to do on the boat? Because I couldn't go swimming. I had to sit there with a fishing rod and be dead silent. And I hated it, for a good couple of years. And then I slowly started to love fishing because I was the one that caught the first fish every year. And it became a competition to me to catch the first fish. And I did every year until they went out one year without me. And Uncle Nemo got the first fish. I was devastated. But I've slowly, over every single year, learned to love fishing. I still cannot tell you the name of one fish. I recently went fishing with my dad, and this was right after he had passed away. We were in Baxter State Park, on this pond. I have pictures of and I caught the first fish, the only fish. We hiked 5 miles. Caught the first fish, the only fish. And the only thing I think about is my grandmother, because I haven't gone fishing with her for 2 years, and she just recently passed. And that was one of my biggest regrets, is I didn't ask her to go fishing. And I caught this fish, and I figured out the name of it. It was a rainbow trout fish, because on the other side, rainbow. I assumed, it looked rainbow. And all I can think about is the entire time for the rest of the time we're on this pond is my grandmother. And how proud she'd be that I caught this fish, but also how mad she'd be at me that I hiked 5 miles and caught one fish. And I didn't take a good picture of it. Nothing, you holding it, nothing. I still cannot hold a fish in my own hand. She thought that I was a wuss for not holding the fish. Every time I caught a fish with her, I had to force her to hold the fish and take it out with the pliers. And she'd sit there, she said, "You have to learn how to do this eventually, Charlotte." It's like, it's gross. But as you all know, my grandmother, she's a very, very sweet woman. She's also a very blunt woman, and she will tell you exactly what she thinks all of the time. I'm sure if you notice through pictures rolling through, somewhere in there is a very awful picture of me in a dress with very short hair and braces, also another 20 pounds heavier. That night, I walked through the door, and it was like, because this was for my 8th grade dance. I walked through the door. My grandmother Nina, she looked at me. She said, "Wow, you look very pretty. That dress does not fit your body shape, but I look very pretty." I still remember that, because Mom still has that dress in her closet. I went to go put on that dress the other day for church, and I'm like, this still doesn't fit my body shape. So, yes, very lucky. Thanks. Which is also why she was my taste tester for all of my food. And she will tell you exactly if she thinks it's bland or if it's too sweet. If I brought over sweets every time, she went, "This is amazing, it's very good. Needs more salt." Or, maybe take it down on the sugar levels, but it's great. And she tries to tell you that it's great, so she makes you feel better, but she'll tell you exactly what you think, so you know that you need to fix it. It's hard because we used to do Thanksgiving and Christmas together every single year after we moved into this house. And last year we couldn't do that because she was down the boat, which is amazing. I'm so glad that she had that experience. But this year, I'm supposed to make her study this word because you're last day. I'm glad to discuss it. She always put the stuffing in these sauce dishes, and she made it every year. I love this. It's probably the only thing I ate at Thanksgiving for a long time, because who doesn't like carbs? And a couple years ago, she taught me how to make it. And this last year, she was supposed to try it, and she was like, so I have no clue for the upcoming Thanksgiving, if people are at my house, if this will taste like her after I need feedback. Yes. And I'm sorry, this speech is going everywhere, because again, I had no intentions of talking to anybody or speaking to anybody, so this is just wherever my brain goes. But like I said, my grandmother, I'm glad that everybody's here to come see her, see her on screen, and share all these beautiful memories of her. And it's making me think that I saw her from people who saw her from many other ways, and I'm so happy that everybody's here to share these perspectives, because I didn't have a lot of time to be able to see her from all these different perspectives. I love hearing all this, because I love learning more about her. There's so many questions I should have asked her while she was still here, and and I did not ask her a whole lot of questions. That's Because that is the end of my speech. 'Cause I have nothing more to say.
Thank you, Shirley. Just under 20 minutes. I'm rotating, so over this side. Okay, so we have a lady here. Here.
Hi there. My name is Sue Dearborn. I work with Lori in cardiac rehab. She was our supervisor for a few years, and would love to just echo so many things that everybody has said so far. I really kind of debated about coming up and saying anything because I was like, I don't really know Lori all that well, but at the same time, I feel like I do. But I would just say on behalf of our department, our cardiac and pulmonary rehab department, Lori was so loved when she walked through the door. And we never knew when she was coming, but she made a point to be there at least twice a week. And we were kind of low, we're still kind of low maintenance, right? We're still low maintenance, yeah. But she would make a point of coming over, and if she didn't get over more than once a week, she'd apologize. I'm so sorry. And I said, it's okay, no problem. You know, we're glad you're here. Was always what she said. And she also she walked through the door and it felt like, oh, we're good. Lori's here. We're good. And that's just something that, although we haven't had her around for a while because she's on the boat, we missed her. You know, her presence just coming through. Oh, we're good. Lori's here. And so I'm really missing that. On a personal side, Lori, and I'm going to try not to cry here, but I tend to be kind of emotional. And I will be honest with you in saying that that day that we were told that she passed, I thought, well, I can keep it together. I'm at work. I could not keep it together. And that, I guess, just really said something about how it feels to not have her around, the reality of it, I guess. But on a personal note, one of the things, one of the many memories I have, Lori always made time to listen and quietly listen, not getting ready to say what she wanted to say in response, but just listen and hear what you were saying and feel what you were saying. So my very condensed version of what I want to share is that my daughter at age 20 became pregnant, unplanned pregnancy, although no pregnancy, but unplanned. And I was a little upset because you know, it wasn't as we had planned for our daughter. And so Lori came over and just came in my office and just sat down, you know, how are you doing, Sue? And I just feel, and I was always very comfortable with her, and I just told her, you know, what I was thinking and how I was feeling. And she shared with me her story of what happened to her when she got pregnant with Alicia. And I can't even tell you the hope, talk about hope, the hope that she gave me, and just a change in perspective of how to move forward. And that day when I left work, I went and saw my daughter and I just said, Dad and I are here for you, whatever you need, no matter what, we're here. And sure enough, that's how it has been. And my granddaughter's almost 2 years old and she's an absolute joy. So I could probably share a load of stories, as I know we all could, about Lori, but I just want to say that I appreciate the years that we got to work with her, and thank the family for sharing her with us, because she's just been a real blessing for so many of us. Thank you.
Okay, so I gotta get this right. This is Ian, the grandson of Lori. Ian.
Hello. I just thought I'd have one story to tell y'all. It was on my 12th birthday, my grandmother, Nina, she brought me down to DC. Wonderful trip. Just during one of the times we were heading over, we'd rented out these little scooters things that they had there, these electric scooters. So we were speeding along. It started thundering and raining just out of the blue. We knew it was going to start raining, but not that hard and not for a bit. So the World War II memorial, might as well just hide under it and wait out the storm. So we sat there for about 40 minutes, and we were just like, it's cold, and this is going to last a whole lot longer. So might as well just go home. So hop back on the scooter, and we started speeding home. We were just speeding across the street. I don't even know how she was going so fast. She was honestly kind of surprised me because I was already topping out, and she was just speeding along. And then at one point, we were coming up to we had to cross the road, and she almost just shot out in the traffic because she didn't see the curb. And I just yelled to her, "Anna, stop!" She just like slammed on the brakes, looked at me, what? And when she slammed on the brakes, she skied a little. She's like on the curb, just like, "What do you want?" And I told her, "You almost just shot out in the traffic." She says, "Oh, okay." And then once traffic stopped, we just went home. And then after that, we just went inside. We were absolutely soaked. We just sat down and we watched, I think it was A League of Our Own. First time I ever watched it completely. Charlie's still angry at me. Constantly nags me. Kind of funny. Just, hey, we've never finished that before. We should probably watch it. Hey, Ian, let's watch it. Yes. And another thing that happened there is we went to the Air and Space Museum there. And for those who are close to me, they know that I'm absolutely obsessed with air and space. Just a mild obsession. And we went there and it was half of it closed, and she was just constantly asking, like, "Do you know what that is?" Yes. "Do you know what that is?" Yes. "Do you know what that is?" "Pretty sure." Constantly. Just remember that trip. Really fun trip. I actually have a picture of us. It was right after we'd stopped at that at the curb where she almost shot off. I have a picture. We have it framed at the bottom of the stairs. It's both of us soaking wet, smiling. So funny. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. So.
Well, you live to tell about it. Anyone else on this side? Okay, we have a gentleman here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michael Shaika. I grew up here. I wore my flip-flops today in honor of Lori. What a gem. And it I have so many stories. And when I started, they just all flooded back to me. And the real ones were real hard stories of me having somebody to talk to. When I moved back here from years away, it was a hard part of my life, and I knew Lori as both a neighbor, friend, and as a care manager. And she was someone I could share the depths of my soul, like any secret, anything with, and never judgment, and always just completely understanding. And I think when Mark and Lori first moved here, like in the first meeting them over their house, she loaned me my favorite book, which was part of Thomas Mann, like a lot of different titles, but and one of them was a favorite book. And as I got to know her, I was like, okay, she knows all the like inner city art school films that have subtitles that I know. She not only that, she knew the words to the songs, so these obscure references, and we had so much in common, and it really was such an honor to know her and be blessed and healed, with her from her healing a lot. And I'm gonna call it short, I think, here. But when I heard she had passed, I was like, we're not meant to know any of those things. Why? But to me, to make any kind of sense of it, I was like, okay, there must have been some supernova opening in the universe and the order of the heavens that it was like, okay, that's Lori, get her in there. That's the only way I can make sense of it, because it just, yeah, what a beautiful, kind woman with a photographic memory. That's what I'm hearing too. I'm putting the pieces to the puzzle together now. And thank you guys.
This side, anyone? Nice. Gentleman back here.
My name is Sean, and I'm from Katie's.
Mom.
And best friends during high school, and even after high school, came over all the time to hang out. And we have so many great memories. And your mom would always come home eventually after I'd be there for a while. And there was a time where I had a lot going on in my life. Things were rough at home, and I was kind of in between where I was gonna live, and she offered me a room for a bit if I needed it, and an ear to just listen to what I had to say, and see if she could help in some way, give advice, or just listen. And through all of this, it is something that I continue to think about, and just everything you guys say about her, I see that, and she's such a sweet person. Gonna really miss her, even though it's been so long since I've seen her. It feels like just yesterday still too. So, thank you.
Do we have anyone else? Anyone else? We have this,
I'm gonna cry, so just warn you. My name's Linda, and my husband's crying already. My name's Linda. My husband and Dan met the LeBlanc family back in 2019 when my son started going to University of Maine, and we chose the Red Dog Farm as an Airbnb. So we came here, and somehow we met them by chance, and as I say, we chose them as friends. They welcomed my son with open arms whenever he needed anywhere to stay, anywhere to stop it, anywhere to store stuff. We spent holidays here with them. We had like 8 kids. We had everything. Everyone been the most wonderful people. There's times that my husband went to bed. Mark said, "Screw yous, I'm going to bed." You can imagine he did not say screw, by the way. Just so you know, if you know Mark close enough. Alicia and her family went to bed, and Lori and I just sat on that back deck for hours and just talked and looked out at this beautiful view and just talked. And Lori, as you know, she would never go to bed until she knew everyone was okay. Until I finally said, "Lori, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I think we'll go to bed." She's like, "Okay, Lori, I'm okay." And I never realized that, she took care of everything. And as you know, the dogs are always there with us. So please, everyone, hug the puppies while you're here, because the puppies miss the puppies. They really do. And someone said that. I think Ray, you said it last night. The dogs miss their mommy. So please, you see the puppies running around, give them a little hug. Yes, let them lick your face because they licked me yesterday. So just we all know that Lori was a wonderful person. And yes, she always said, you said it earlier. She said, "I'm so sorry." She always said so sorry to me. And I said, "What are you sorry about? It has nothing to do with you." So we all miss her. I'm just devastated. I never cried so much for losing someone as much as I cried when I heard her. So
is Ram. I'm Alicia's husband, and Lori's my mother-in-law. Didn't plan to say anything either, but I just wanted to say really quick a few words. And after retiring from the military, I finally had a chance to come home and move in with my beautiful wife, Alicia, and wonderful kids. And it's been about 2.5 years. And that this retired, kind of semi-retired time frame right now had the chance to be home almost every day. So I've known Lori the least amount of time of probably anyone here. Half years I spent a lot of time right here basically on the homestead with her and her family. And her and Mark welcomed me in, with open arms, just immediately. And it was, and you can just feel the love from Lori and all the time. I mean, she was just wonderful. And when she passed, I was out of town, unfortunately. And we talked about fishing a lot because she loved fishing, and she actually taught me a lot. I've been fishing since I was 2 years old, but I've never fished this area here. So I learned a lot about the lakes here, about the different fish and different things that you do. She gave me all these books about the lakes and all that, and fishing gear for Christmas and all those things. And the only, I guess, it was interesting because the very last time I talked with her, I was just kind of like talking normal. Was right over there under that tree. I had just come back from Ian and I came back from a fishing trip, and we had just finished cleaning the fish, and we had just a really short conversation, and she gave me a few other tips about Brewer Lake, and we hugged, and she went back to her house, and I jumped on a plane the next morning, and the very next day is when she went to the hospital. So, but I didn't. That's the last memory I have of her, and to me, it just none of this is really kind of real, Just and I just, like I said, very blessed to have spent that time with her almost every day. So I look forward to meeting and talking with a lot of you guys some more this afternoon.
Thank you, Ram. That was the last call. How about the final call? Are you final call? Final call. Quinn, who is remotely related to me as my son.
Quinn Reback, I'm the son of the MC. I'm a niece. Let's call myself a niece. I'm a nephew to Lori. Mark's my mom's brother. Anyway, yeah. So I like several speakers had no intention of saying anything, but hey, when in Rome. So I think a few things. I think staple of my life was childhood. I'll say was spring break, 8 years running in Jensen Beach, Florida. So when this main setting is great, Lori to me is Florida. And as a guy who, admittedly, cringes at baiting my own hooks, she's pretty badass when she's unhooking the stingray I caught, or pulling a starfish out of a sandbar. So, I think I'm so joyful hearing all of the stories of all of these different Loris and different archetypes of whoever this amazing woman was, and I only knew one of that. And she was pretty gosh darn amazing. I think somebody said as well is how present I think she is in everything. All of these different individuals all in one. I feel her here, and I think what I take from you guys is I look at the folks who come up here, your sense of community. The people you been close to in life, whether they be your family or they're your neighbors, how representative that is of, Lori, you, Mark, as well. And I take that, I hear that, that inspires me. I think the relationships you guys have formed, you take the time, it's so genuine, it's so inspiring. she's been so present and so like many of several times for me. And man, so sorry she's gone, but so privileged, lucky, and blessed to have known her and ever be a part
Okay, we've had the last call. We had the final call. So this is the ultimate final call. Oh, okay. Now I gotta come up with another candidate.
Raise my hand. Just so moved by everybody's stories today, and I think we can all agree that Lori is a phenomenal woman, legend, 100%, 1000%. One's my face, sorry. I am going to share just a little bit about the fact that, so my name is Jessica. I work with Lori in the lung cancer screening program. She hired me onto the team, and I always recall her saying, you know, what can I do for you? When she hired me, she did say that her big thing is hiring smart people and letting them do their thing. And I look around and I see all of the people that she's touched and that she's hired and that she's worked with. And it's really evident that we have a very special team. And I was lucky to work side by side with her. Include, sorry, shake right here. So the last day that I worked with her was the Tuesday, and I learned afterwards that she went to the hospital. You never know the last time that you're going to talk with somebody who speaks with somebody. And if I could go back and do it all over again, there'd be less click-clacking on the computer and more of our. I had actually a few of those that day, and I'm very, very grateful for it. I also wish I could just take those moments back and just give them back to her family. You know, it's so hard to imagine, as we've all said, this tremendous loss, you know, for ourselves and for our community. But I did share with her quite a bit that day, and she asked me the next day. I actually had off from work. She said, "Oh, what are you doing again? Where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I don't even know if I want to go anymore. I'm just not feeling up to it. But I'm going to a paint concert with my friend." And she said, "Go, just go, like get out of here, just go." And out of the way, as I've learned from other people's talks, she knows everything about everybody. She just pulls from the sky a song from Pink that apparently really touched her very deeply, and I wanted to share that with you folks. It's called "Glitter in the Air." And she just talked about what a masterpiece this song is, and I just want to share a couple lines from the song because I find it very beautiful, and it kind of ties in with the poetry that we heard earlier today and some of the stories. I'm getting a little old, sorry. Make it a little bigger here. Have you ever fed a lover with just your hands? Close your eyes and trust it. Just trust it. Have you ever thrown a fistful of glitter in the air? Have you ever looked fear in the face and said, "I just don't care"? And it's only half past the point of no return, the tip of the iceberg, the sun before the burn, the thunder before the lightning, breath before the phrase. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever wished for an endless night, lassoed the moon and the stars and pulled that rope tight? Have you ever held your breath and asked yourself, will it ever get better than tonight? Tonight. I don't think it gets better than Lori. And I just hope I can carry her spirit. Dr. Cooper shared, like, I feel her presence. And I feel grateful and honored that I was allowed the opportunity to know her and that she took the time and opportunity. So, thank you.
Okay. We're in double overtime. Double overtime. Final call. Yeah, I will. Oh, you do, okay. I do want to say something about what Linda said, hug a puppy. That would be great, but if the puppy, there's 6 of them around here, and they're put away, they're big, and you see that table of food that we want to eat? Wouldn't be there. So
Would not be.
maybe you can hug a puppy.
No,
on the
those
way
dogs.
out. Right now, they're caged for a good reason, so. With that in mind, Alicia has one more thing that she's gonna do, and then she's gonna talk about that table over there. Okay, so Alicia, come on up.
Again, not the tall one. So I do want to add one more thing to my final speech before I move on to this next thing. There, when she had her last lucid moments in the ER, and I was privileged to hear her last words. But before her last words were like, I don't want to do anything for you. Like, Mom, you're on an ER table, calm down. But her last words were, I love you. And when she says I love you, she's not just saying I love you just to me, or to Dad, or to Kim, or to Liz, or the kids. When she says I love you, she says I love you to everyone. And you can feel her love in her kindness and her hope. So I just want to let you know that when she said I love you to me, she said I love you to you. I don't know if you take that away, because that is the most beautiful thing that she could say to all of us, is that she did truly love all of you. So my dad got a letter in the mail, and this gentleman is Elaine's son. And he has been a part of our life for quite a long time, and Dad and I talked about sharing his letter with us today, and his words are so much better than mine, and I just will read this to you. This is to Mark. A great soul serves everyone all the time. A great soul never dies. It brings us together again and again. I cannot pronounce the last name, I'm sorry. Angela? Okay. My apologies. My mom was a scholar, not me. That is who Lori is, a great soul. She serves everyone all the time. She sought the best in everyone she spent time with, and her eternal soul will continue to bring us together again and again. Lori was and will forever be one of the most incredibly blessed to have known. She was selfless, caring, giving, and incredibly loving to all those who were part of her life. Always so happy, overflowing with positivity and never letting the negative into her life. I can honestly say I never witnessed Lori in a bad mood. She brought happiness and smiles to every room she was in. As I write this, I cannot help but feel guilty for never repaying Lori for the biggest role she played in my life. Lori was the most important person to my most important person in my life, my mother. Lori coming into my mom's life when she did was truly a gift from God, a testament to his love and comfort in the face of the most difficult times of our lives. Lori's friendship, love, and support of my mother are immeasurable. Good or bad news, she was the first person she would call. She helped her get through some of the worst, most painfully challenging times of her life. She was her angel. And for that, I thank God who put Lori and you, Mark, in our lives. Lori was fearless and unwavering by others' opinions. She was incredibly hardworking, and no task was too big for her to take on. We enjoyed so many laughs, caught so many fish, and of course, your jumbo yellowtail to top it off. I could not have asked for 2 better people to share that moment with. As she sent me a card not long after, and expressing that it was one of the best fishing trips we both ever had. card she wrote meant so much to me and made me feel so good, like I had purpose. That card made me feel like I finally gave something back to the world because given I could give so much love. That is who Lori is and who she will forever be in our hearts. And I like everyone a great soul who brings us together again and again. A great soul never dies. And I know her soul will be alive in all of us forever. I am smart. I just want you to know we love you and your family very much. If there's anything I can do, please don't hesitate. I hope you can find some peace in knowing that God gained one of the most incredible angels, and she will be with you. Elaine, thank you so much for being such a great person to focus on. His words are so tall. Give him a hug for us. To wrap this up, and I would like to let everybody know that the children and I went through a lot of Mom's belongings, and if anybody knows Mom, she loved scarves for every occasion, and she also had a pair of glasses to match every scarf. We actually put a bunch of her nursing blouses out on the table as well as hers, and we would like you to take them. They are open for anybody that wants to take a piece of her with you. Okay. And then on the left side over here, Michael that came up and spoke with us, the Chaga family, just gave us this beautiful property to take over. And he has a lot of scarves up there that he actually painted himself that Mom used to wear. So those are not to be taken, so please keep those here. But the ones on the table on the right are for you. And we also have food and beverages that everybody, thank you very much. So bringing those out so that we could all enjoy some time together. And again, thank you very much for sharing this day with us. We're so grateful. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to open up the food here. I'll take the covers off some things. So we have a very lot of food, so nobody escapes without eating. Your chairs are your tables, and just give some folks a minute or two to get it ready over there. And then please, some home, give it to your neighbors. There's a lot of food over there. Thank you for coming.
Huh? I'm gonna go up there and.
Patty was at Jen's house and Jen was up on the farm. They came from this way. Patty was saying that, or I think it was Patty, that they love me from home. Holy moly, it's not.
Son, it wasn't this hard.
She is. Hi. I didn't even know you guys were coming. That was beautiful.
That was good.
Really, that was wonderful.
Nice job.
You too, Ian. Nice stories.
Thank you guys for
Hey.
coming. Yeah, seriously. I had a couple funny stories.
Everybody.
Very good. I saw. How are you?
Good. Hey, my phone. I remember. She's so yeah.
Target. What are you doing? See, I got it for the rodeo.
Very true.
And I was like, I figured this was something out of nowhere.
Our, you know, it's hard to left like morning with the dogs and all that stuff. And it just looked up. And the worst thing was I was out of I was dull. The car's me. Mom. One car away from us and getting
You're not gonna shoot at the stream. Oh, yeah.